When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be confusing. Like Swedish techno confusing.
Bark, bark, meow, meow. Dance with me, purple cow. Bark, bark, meow, meow. Ooh, you lovely cow.
Geico makes it easy. With 24/7 access, all you have to do is go to Geico.com and you could save money on car insurance. It just makes sense. Unlike,
Dance with me, purple cow. I like your moves.
Blog Talk Radio.
Thank you for tuning in to The Awakening with Katina Love. Today is Monday, September 28, 2015. I am your host, your spiritual and wellness coach. My website is Lotus, LOTUSLISE, healing, HEALING.com. You can connect with me on Facebook at facebook.com/Katina, KATINA.love, LOVE, the number 8. If you or someone you know would like to be a guest on the show and share your journey to higher consciousness and promote your life's purpose and business in the healing arts, I would love to talk with you. My email for inquiries and questions is lotuslife, LOTUSLIFE, the number 8, @yahoo.com. The topic of today's show is spiritual guidance for all areas of your life. Please meet the lovely and talented psychic channel and healer radiant possibilities with Rebecca. Rebecca DeHate has offered messages from her spirit guide, Artaysia, since 1997, specializing in helping people begin to change at a soul level, starting with core life issues such as relationships, career, money, children, health, and personal spirituality. Along with assessing your potential, Rebecca and Artaysia, they work together. They can help with releasing emotional, physical, and spiritual discontent and healing at all of these levels. Some of the tools used in the healing process are Access bars, guidance, spirit-guided energy, work infused with Reiki, and various earth design energies and yoga. Rebecca has done many readings for clients all over the world and feels deeply committed to her path and service for all those who are seeking guidance. Her website is radiantpossibilitieswithrebecca.com, RADIENTPOSSIBILITIESWITHREBECCA.com. Thank you, Rebecca, for being a guest today. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. So what exactly is a psychic channel and healer?
Okay. Well, psychic channel is, I always struggled with what exactly to call myself, right, for many years.
Mm-hmm.
So psychic channel is just like it sounds. Your channel is an opening. You open yourself to a channel. You open yourself to receive messages, whether that's from, most of the time, from my spirit guide Artaysia, or it can be from a spirit friend. It can be from a past loved one, the divine angels. The thing is to keep your mind open and receptive to all. So that's where I'm at. I'm specifically, so I channel often. You can channel, tarot readers channel. You can channel by just being and sensing and listening to yourself. I like to think that everybody has that ability to channel. I also do this, it's a little more spiritual medium where you allow yourself to be a complete vehicle where I totally bring in my spirit guide Artaysia and let her speak through me. So does that answer the question?
Really awesome.
So also when you're doing,
Absolutely.
When you're doing healings too, you do the same thing. You just channel, you just open yourself up and you allow and have a life for allowance.
That is really awesome. And I can feel the pure light energy from you and from Artaysia. I actually got a reading today, and it was very accurate, very, very helpful to help me on my journey with my business and my life's purpose, as well as my health. So
Great.
very, very good, very clarity on things that I had been dealing with. So thank you for that. So what led you to your path of becoming a psychic channel and healer? What was the turning point? What led you to that place?
Well, truly what was the turning point is I went into I was having anxiousness in my life. I needed a change. So my first change was I went into the military. And once I was there and settled, I was like still seeking something, and it was more, now I understand it, was I was seeking my spirit. I was seeking to feel my spirit with something. You know, it was needing something. So I started going to churches. I started going to different things, spirituality. I came home one time, my mom says, I met a group of people I needed to meet, and that basically led me right down the line. So to my first introduction to a palm reader, and then also a medium herself, this Nancy, who recently just passed away, and she brought through a beautiful spirit guide named Ramel, and he was one of the first spirits I'd ever witnessed, and he spoke right to my soul, and he knew things that no one else knew. You know, my mom was sitting next to me, and even she wouldn't have understood what was right inside me, you know. So it was
that's amazing.
spectacular. Yeah, and he had said, you will do what I do. And everything just led that, from books to papers to everything, you know, just that ended up in my hands or I was attracted to was about channelers or transmediums or different things like this. So that's where it led. And finally, I just took some time when I finally got out of the military and had time to focus on more of my spirituality. And I started doing some meditations and visualizations. And I finally started to connect with spirit in Artaysia. So it took process.
That's awesome.
It wasn't just like one of those things, boom, I knew I had intuition. I mean, I wish somebody had told me years ago that you have intuition. It would have helped on a lot of aspects, right?
Right,
but
of course.
It's, you know, a little guidance and direction, and you look back and you always go, everything just has its right synchronicity to guide you right to where I am today.
That is amazing. Rebecca, do you think that there's a lot of spirit guides in the spirit realm who are looking to work with humans, spiritual beings having a human experience?
Yes.
Us looking to channel through us? And it's just a matter of matching up with that frequency. Is that what that
Correct.
is?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. So
Artaysia,
can you tell us more? Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, I mean, it can be anything.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you were just saying about the guides. You know, I don't want people to limit themselves to guides. I mean, it can be open to all. You know, it can be past loved ones wanting to help you. Most of the time, you know, they're moved on. You know, but the spirit guides to angels, to archangels, to divine, to other. You know, there's so much more. Sometimes there's not even. That just don't want people to limit themselves when they're investigating into their spirituality and what to connect to, because there could be something, you know, completely, you know, just an energy force you don't know of. So that's I just wanted to mention that.
Okay. Are you aware, like, are there a lot of loved ones, people's loved ones who have passed on who want to reconnect with them?
Often, you know, many times when I sit down with in front of somebody, there's oftentimes be right away. Artaysia still likes to go right to what's going on for the person and connect to them, because you're living in this earth plane and we want to like work with you right now. But so past loved ones, especially if it's pretty close or it's something that's really there for people, you know, when they've lost moms to brothers to sisters, you know, people that are, you know, you just have a hard time letting go of, often the ones, loved ones right there to give a message. And almost always is it relieving for the person that's getting the reading. And it helps them to realize that it's okay, you know. Sometimes the ache probably for their loved one isn't gone, but sometimes the anger or things that maybe have been around it go away.
Okay, that's awesome. Awesome. Can you tell us more about Artaysia?
Yeah, well, Artaysia was what I remember, and I integrated with her, is that she was born on this earth plane and passed in the 18th century, I believe it was. She was Russian. She was musical. Her parents were musical. She died rather young, though. She was only like 22, I believe it was. And it was one of those agreements in our spirit realm that we said we would work. She just waited patiently for me to decide, once I was born and come through and to wait too. And I still think it is always the exact timing that it's supposed to be. So.
Right, that is awesome. So you mentioned that she might have a Russian heritage.
Yes.
Because I noticed the accent, a little bit when we were talking when she channeled through you earlier. That was quite an experience.
Yeah. I mean, imagine when I first started bringing her through too. It was like, oh, okay. So they, it was different. Sometimes people, you'll see them channel and they'll take on the persona of the spirit, and other times they won't.
Right.
But we chose to do that way. I think just for one, it helps me to distinguish that it truly was something beyond me. Even when I channel information, it's still accurate. It's still good. It's still what we need to bring through. So people who are on that path, they need to know that too, even if they don't bring something particularly through their body or through their voice, or if they're getting their intuition right, if they're using their intuition, it's right. You know what I mean? So that's very important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we mentioned earlier how, in your bio, how your services has helped so many people and the areas that has helped. Can you share some testimonials with us, like maybe some repeat clients that come back to you and you've helped them along their path?
Yeah. Well, there's something to stand out right now is a couple sisters that I had met several years ago. I think they came for a reading, and then different times I've offered, channeling classes per se, or to connect with yourself. And they've frequented those kind of things. But I think that the most challenging for them, I should say, was the one that had her husband pass on, kind of unexpected. I do remember it was, given too much information, but I do remember at one point I remember her asking about a vacation, and she asked if her husband was going to go. And I remember that the answer was kind of she would go, but the husband was not. But at that point, it wasn't given any other information other than that. And then later on, he passed on. He had a heart attack, and then she did the vacation on her own, so she understood where it came from. But what was most helpful for that is to be able to connect with him and to connect for her to be able to heal through that. You even remember a time she went down to Florida and she was just to talk her through what he wanted her and to do, and something she experienced through, us connecting and being able to talk her through that, yes, this is, he's there, this is what's happening, he remembers this. So through the different times, that kind of thing. And then with the sister, later on, her husband was starting to pass on. He had some ailments. And she knew, they knew. I mean, he at different times, of course, when it's the, when their minds start to go, he kind of, he knew. There was times that she knew when it was him and knew when also he was in his illness. But what was so nice was to be able to hear some of the information that was given to her directly on how to deal with that as she was going through it. And it was so much, I had seen a transition happen for her when he did pass that, of course, still the same grieving, still the, but she was more prepared, ready.
Okay, yeah.
As, she was more able to transition through those different stages. There was really probably no anger. that he left because she was prepared, and the information she was able to get as he was in illness and as he was passing, through Artaysia, some of the information given, and plus afterwards from him too. So
wow.
it was really those are really stand out, particularly for me. Sometimes there's different things with the healings. I've always loved the Reiki and the energy work. I think Access Bars is one of those that just if people are ready for change, it happens very quickly with Access Bars. And I remember giving a healing to a fellow healer. She was a massage therapist and did so many great modalities herself. And then one day she was just like, I just need something, Rebecca. Could you please, give me this Access Bars? And so I delivered the Access Bars, which is the 13 points on your head that have to do with anything you can think of. And then next, I kind of noticed that she had started her own practice, and she had became the Access Bars practitioner herself. And when I did connect with her again, she had said herself, the words herself were, after your Access Bars session, it was life changing. So all the things that she knew she wanted to do, knew it was time, but maybe with questioning, it just opened it up for her, opened up the doorways, flew open for her, and she was ready then. So that was pretty couple of neat testimonies. Yeah.
So let me back up just a little bit. So Access Bars, can you explain that to us just a little bit more in detail?
Yes, Access Bars has been created, it was given to Gary Douglas 22 years ago, at least 22, I think it was. And it's during a channeling session, he was a channeler, and he was asking the universe, what's next? And in one of his sessions with a client, he was given these 32 points on your head and how to run the energy there. And it's just gone from there, and it's a fantastic healing modality. The points of, we hang on to opinions, point of views, and feelings and emotions half the time that aren't even ours. I mean, we've brought into this world, and so many times we're just kind of programmed almost. I mean, I hate to put it like it's a conspiracy. It's not.
Right.
But, parents do what they have. They do what they do, and we pick it up, and we decide to live our life as we think we should. And a lot of times it has to do with everybody else's point of view and opinion. And pretty soon there's points in our lives we really aren't functioning from ourselves. We're functioning from outside of ourselves. And so what the 32 points do in running the Access Bars session does is opens you up to connecting to who you are, getting rid of all the old thoughts and opinions and point of views that are no longer yours. They no longer serve you. Maybe they are yours, but they no longer serve you. So it's almost like we always talk about rebooting the computer mainframe. So when you've got a glitchy computer, you want to do something, you turn it off, you turn it back on, you reboot it, right? This is what we do with Access Bars. We reboot that.
So the Access Bars. So it gets rid of the old programming, and so it deprograms and then reprograms you?
Yes.
So is there like a session or a period of time when that takes place, or is everything downloaded in one session, or is it gradual, how does that work?
What it does, yes, is we just basically you come in, you use a table or a chair, wherever. I've sat right at people's homes and reclined them in a recliner and sit behind them in a chair, and you just start running. There's 32 points on your head, so we just kind of place our hands, not even a pressure, just like gently place them there in these areas, and then it's just like energy work. If you've ever had Reiki or such, where the energy is sent, we're just kind of a vehicle of energy sent through us and, through the body. And through. So it reads on your head, and it has to do with relations. Some of those things are like, I just drew a blank, of course, right? So some of the things are like on money and control and creativity. So it's a bigger scale, not just like these little specific things. It's like encompassing, all-encompassing, So what we do is just run those bars, and it's really, if you want a good session, you probably would expect an hour to 2 hours. But we can do it as short as a half an hour and as long as 2 hours. Some have ran bars for longer than that, but usually I feel that, hour and a half is plenty. So you just basically almost just lay there and relax, and you allow the session to just do its job. You just run the bars. They basically just send the energy.
Wow.
So a person a lot of times they'll fall asleep, or they will just be in that nice trance, like that little state of like relaxation, or they'll get real talkative. Sometimes when you're running the bars, if it's on that specific area, let's say it's on love or sex or healing or kindness and gratitude, something might start coming up for them. You're like running the bar, you're like, so things might just need to be talked about, so sometimes it will come up. But as the practitioner, often what we do is just kind of sit there and deliver the energy to you. And so then when you walk away, you'll if nothing better felt feeling as if you had a massage, or that feeling after massage. The relax, and you reset, you're ready to go, you have some energy, or maybe you're just a little tired, but later on have energy, or you have life-changing things. Sometimes you can just have some subtle shifts, things that once used to bother you may not bother you so badly.
Yeah. That is truly amazing. And I would imagine that the person sleeps really well that night as well.
Yeah.
To really just have a deep and peaceful sleep.
Yes. Anytime I have had the bars ran for me, because, of course the practitioner always needs to keep running things for themselves, heal the healer too, right? We need to be healed too, yeah. Yes, we all got things we are addressing and looking through and wanting answers for. So anytime I've had access bars ran for me, I usually feel it's phenomenal, really tired, really relaxed that night, just sleep better. Usually the next week I can have some energy that hasn't been there. Feel a little clearer on thought processes. Yeah, I could you can kind of run your own bars every day, sometimes it's that whole thing, even with the thought of energy. Thought is energy. So I can, I can literally look there, and even if I can't quite put my fingers on my thoughts like somebody else who can facilitate it I can often just lay my hands over there in the area, know what it is, and ask for that to run. So it's not just to be able to give to people, run the bars for people. You can also take care of yourself, too, with it.
I love it. So what about Reiki? Can you talk to us about that?
Pardon?
Can you talk to us about Reiki? Reiki healing?
Yes. Yeah. It's been a while since I first took my Reiki 1 and 2 classes, so sometimes I don't remember all the specifics of, where it came from and who created it and all this. But many people who have brought themselves into Reiki, when you first Reiki 1 is usually, again, using it for yourself. They show you exactly where to place your hands over your head and body, and symbols that go with that, because they're ancient healing modality, and there were symbols to go with it. And they explain to you, each symbol has what it represents and what it does for you. So, as you just run the healing and placement of your hands, you just begin to be a vehicle to allow the energy to come through, and it will go to where your body needs to be healed. Often when I'm doing a session in general, it's hard for me to just particularly do an Access Bar session or just do a Reiki session. I mean, I can, but anymore it's kind of, like you said earlier, it's infused. So I might start out with, doing the Access Bars and starting with the first part of that, and then I might switch for a minute and go to a Reiki spot, because I will feel drawn to a particular part on the body. And so I just follow that. I follow that energy. Because when people come to you and they're laying on a table, they're also opening up themselves. They're really doing the work. I always say we're just really the facilitators. We're really just the vehicles and facilitators. It's first, it starts out with the divine, they're almost like the radio station, and then you have the person on the table that is the radio, and I'm just the person in between that turns on the radio. That just helps you turn in that frequency and get you fine-tuned, whether it's to listen to your higher self or it's to listen to your inner guidance, to find out where you need healing, how to do that healing, and really you're doing it because you're the one that's decided, you're the one that's saying, I'm sending the radio. I'm the radio. I'm sending information. I'm fine-tuned. So.
That is amazing. And, intuition. Intuition is very important with this work and being in tune and that you are. That's just really awesome. Can you share more about one more testimonial with us? Maybe someone who needs help with their career and their finances or both, and how working with you has helped them.
This is trying to figure out one that stands out the most. Which one stands out the most? Sometimes.
Right.
Often,
I know.
I go to fairs and things where you sit in front of people, and sometimes they may never come back to me. So sometimes I haven't needed to do much more. Right. And that's always, that's okay. This is really kind of what I want sometimes. At first, like, when you're doing the healing process, if you're doing the healing, I need you to probably sit down and you probably should do 2 or 3 sessions. Let's really get through this. I mean, one session of any of the healing modalities usually just kind of gets the surface, and you're like a layered onion. We need to peel through those layers.
Yes, we are. We all are. Yes, absolutely. I totally agree.
Well, one session that just sticks to me, and it stuck to me for a really, really long time, and I'm not sure why, and it doesn't have to really do with somebody's career or something that I helped, but I had sat down with this lady, and she had a child with her and somebody else, like a mother or something, and never met these folks before, and as I was starting to talk with them, there was a spirit behind them, and I remember saying the child was the same, representing itself as the same age as the child that was standing there. And these people all of a sudden were just like really blown, they were just really like emotional. What it was is the child's twin had passed.
What?
So this was a twin. So the twin showed up. And so I just remember that feeling of them, connecting with this, what would have been, it died as an infant. Only one of the twins lived. Aww. And the twin was standing there, and, here came the other one. And they were just really moved, and it was just a feeling of, it was so new in my path. It was when I was newer at doing channeling. Yeah. I think that's why it stands out so much to me. And it was that time when you went, this is why I do it. This is why I'm led to do this. Because I'm helping people. It's almost like it was so amazing to me. So that's kind of what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So we're getting ready to end the show in like 2 minutes. Is there anything that you want to share with our audience? Anything about channeling? Anything about receiving messages that you want to share?
Well, I really want to encourage the audience and folks out there to recognize that they also have something within them that is an intuitive, psychic, whatever word you want to use. Some people at first are afraid to use the word psychic. Even I was. And then after a while, psychic just means you're connecting to the psyche. You're connecting to that is a little more beyond our physical being. And almost most people believe that there is something, and that they can connect to that. That theirs may not be like mine, and not to even worry about that. To just be worried about really connecting to who you are and remembering why you're here. Why you're here.
Right.
That's what I liked about when I was introduced to Access bars and the Access consciousness movement. I don't know if movement's the right word, but I mean, Access Bars is just the tip of the iceberg what Access Consciousness offers. And you can just go on www.accessconsciousness.com and start looking on there, and you can see the plethora of things that they do. But one of the biggest things is connecting people to who they are, remembering to be you, being you. And that's so important. Like, it's so important.
Yes.
So,
absolutely. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for being a guest on the show today and sharing all of your knowledge and your experiences. I really do appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in.
And all that you do.
Thank you. Thank you, love. Thank you for tuning in to The Awakening with Katina Love. And by the way, Rebecca, can you please share how to get in touch with you?
Yes, you can get in touch with me. I don't have anybody call. If I have people calling, it's 810-620-6236. As she mentioned before, my website is www.radiantpossibilitieswithrebecca.com. And then I do have a Facebook page. I have a Radiant Possibilities Facebook page, or even just Yoga with Rebecca if you're interested in that area also.
Awesome. Thank you for tuning in to The Awakening with Katina Love. Namaste.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be hard. Like early 90s heavy metal hard.
I'm yelling and screaming, and I'm loud. Roar!
Geico makes it easy. You can review and update your policy or report a claim on Geico.com or the Geico mobile app. Because shouldn't we all have a little less stress in our lives?
I'm not even upset about anything.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be confusing. Like Swedish techno confusing.
Bark, bark, meow, meow. Dance with me, purple cow. Bark, bark, meow, meow. Ooh, you lovely cow.
Geico makes it easy. With 24/7 access, all you have to do is go to Geico.com and you could save money on car insurance. It just makes sense. Unlike,
Dance with me, purple cow. I like your moves.